allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Tyler, if we could have roll call, please.
John Boersma.
Here.
Pat Connolly.
Here.
Mike Moffett.
Here.
Mike Bovat.
Here.
Tyler McLeod present. Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Nicole Bennett.
Present.
Chris Salatas absent momentarily. Will probably join us. Also present Gabe Hernandez, maintenance foreman. And our newest addition, Russ Vogel, maintenance as well.
Very good. I'd like to move to item 4, approval of minutes for Tuesday, August 24th, 2021. Consideration for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
It's a motion by John Boersma, second by Mike Moffett. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5, new business. A, pet waste station sponsorship program. And could you speak to that, Tyler?
Sure. So in the past, the town had what was like a public-private partnership where a company called Pooh Free Parks supplied, installed, and maintained dog bag dispensers with little to no cost for the town. They were responsible for supplying the bags and checking the stations on an ongoing basis. And I believe the program was subsidized through contributions from sponsors. It was approved back in June of 2012, but the arrangement seems to have ended pretty quickly, and the town has started to assume all the costs associated with those dispensers. Give you a few more details on that, the Parks pays approximately $1,500 a year for waste bags for the 29 stations we have in town, and we go through approximately 36,000 waste bags a year. So they're getting utilized pretty heavily. So the proposed document there in your packet is a sponsorship program, which would be $60 annually per station for businesses and organizations to sponsor. They would get their vinyl decal with their logo and contact information on the stations. And we would target certain ones that we think would be a good fit, you know, your veterinary clinics, your pet-related businesses. But again, it's good visibility for anyone, really. It's given how heavily utilized these are. If you guys remember, we briefly discussed this back last November at our study session. It was one of those projects we kind of put on the back burner, but finally got some details for you guys to consider tonight.
Do they maintain all of them once we paid? Is that, or are we paying for them?
So it would just help offset the cost where we would still maintain them. You know, it would just help, offset some of those costs of the bags. I mean, at some point we're going to have to replace some of them. They're, the paint starts to chip or they start to get rusted out. But this would just be a way to generate a little bit of revenue to help.
Pay for the bags? And
Right.
Kind of offset.
Right.
So that it wouldn't be that Pooh Free Parks anymore? Or is
No, and that
Be our
ended, like I said, I don't have the historical knowledge, but quite a long time ago, they had similar agreements with other local park departments, and it ended for them too, so.
So it would just be like a St. John Parks and
Mhm.
a sponsor on it?
Right.
And then who's going to solicit for the sponsors, pretty much?
We can do that, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I think we can target certain ones, but I think we might be surprised the responses we get,
What are the sizes of them? Do you know what the exact sizes of the advertisement?
I think it's about a 5, I'd have to look, maybe 6 by 8 or so. I can pass around kind of a tentative mock-up we have.
And then you'd have to go out every year? This would be a yearly thing where you have
It
to go
would
back
be
to
an
the businesses?
annual, right.
Okay.
Yep.
Who's gonna be doing that, Tyler?
We could keep track of that pretty easily. We can monitor who, who signs up, when they sign
Yeah,
up.
no, I'm saying who's gonna go out to the businesses and ask them?
Oh,
Would you like to? Would that be you?
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, I think this is something we could consider.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I don't think there'd be any trouble filling them up right away. I mean, that's for $60.
Yeah, I think it's a great
For
idea.
year-round advertisement.
Right.
Like to consider the pet waste station sponsorship program.
I'll make a motion that we accept the, however you word it, the pet waste station sponsorship program.
I'll second the motion.
That was a motion by Mike Moffett, and second by Pat Connolly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Item 5B, Suncrest Church discussion.
So one of the projects on our 5-year master plan is a recreation/community center. The town has the opportunity to purchase Suncrest and convert it into such a facility. Myself and a few other town officials have toured it on, I believe, 2 different occasions this year. But it's in very good shape. It was constructed in 2002 and had additions in 2006 and 2017. It's 40,000 square feet. It has a ton of parking, I think 360 parking spots, and also acreage for outdoor space as well. But when you walk into it, it looks like it could be a multi-purpose facility. So there's not a whole lot of that footage that needs to be renovated. The service area would be renovated into a gym, but the rest of it is pretty well fully functional for our needs otherwise. But it addresses several deficiencies we have when you think about the lack of indoor facilities we have right now. We're currently relegated to the corner of a garage behind Public Works, and we've been working hard to update that space, but it's just not quite getting it done for our needs, for the town's needs. You think about the insufficient programming right now that we offer. This is a facility that can accommodate all ages when you think about youth, teens, and seniors. Right now, we have a lack of parking and outdoor event space. The clerk treasurer's office organized a movie in the park recently. You could do several of those at this location. Concerts, we can move the farmer's market there. You think of any type of festival or outdoor event that we're just not really accommodated to equip for the time being with our current space. Obviously, with the gymnasium, I'm not sure if there's a public gym right now in town, so that would also fill a huge need. And then rental facilities as well. When you think about space for graduation parties, family reunions, bridal showers, wedding receptions, etc., I gotta believe there's a huge demand for that as well in town, given the current lack of options. But the possibilities are endless. It's a huge demand right now, and it's just a growing demand given this is substantial growth with St. John. So I just wanted to at least mention it and say that it's an opportunity that I recommend we actively pursue. What the process looks like, we would have to probably get the council involved and maybe have a study session at some point. But I just wanted to mention it as an opportunity that's out there.
Being a building that's already built, though, surely it would limit what you would be able to do inside, right? I mean, as far as if you were going to put a gym, you were going to put racquetball,
Mm-hmm.
The construction's already there, so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think that it would tie your hands a little bit on what we could put there
Mm-hmm.
inside.
It's set up with a lot of stuff that you can do. You can maybe rent out the north side for daycare, because all the rooms are there. The bathrooms have been, up in the front, have been remodeled. There's a kitchen area that you can have, you can cook in if you had to. You can have your showers right outside that room. There's plenty of grass area. You can have beanbag tournament. If you had farmer's market, you can have farmer's market with trucks out there, and I think there's 385 parking spaces, and it's approximately, was it like 16 acres or 18 acres, Tyler?
Right.
It's open, and you don't have to do a whole lot. You'd have to take the service area where the church is now and open that up for basketball, volleyball, but there's spaces out in the front where you can do a pickleball court probably. So there's a lot of options there.
What about the land? What's
Acreage?
What's the acreage wise?
Was it like?
Acres is about 18 acres, I think.
So that would be the plan if we were to purchase it, is try to move everything, like the Corn Fest and the farmer's market?
Well, the
everything?
Corn Fest, I wouldn't move there, I don't think, because we use Clark Middle School.
Okay.
There's a lot of parking there, so I don't know if we could do that, but it's a thought, but it might be better off at where it's at now at Clark Middle School.
I'm just asking if it would be like the central location of basically everything.
It's about as central as you can get,
for St.
because
John,
there's
yeah.
not a lot of land in town that you can have.
Right.
Or take.
What about the 40 acres?
Well, that's
where are
in-
we at on that? Because I mean,
We're-
that would be my prime location. Just
We're
because
in limbo with that right now. It's wait and see, and it's gotta go through some more discussion.
So as I understand it, Tyler, what you're saying is presently, this is the only opportunity we have to like procure something for a community center at the moment.
It would be that, or as Johnny mentioned, that 40 acres, which that's to be determined.
Right.
you know.
Like I said, that's kind of in flux right now, but this here, there would be a possibility of doing something and renovating it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'd have to take into consideration traffic over there too. I mean, so
But it's easy to get in and out. There's two entrances. There's Parish, and then there's one on Joliet. So it's relatively easy to get to.
Yeah, and I think the church accommodates pretty large gatherings on Sunday. They seem to move in and out of there pretty good.
I think upwards of 1,000 or so per service.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the traffic, we're gonna have that anywhere. Because even with that 40 acres, you're stuck right there between 109th and White Oak. Because with baseball, when it's between games or it starts raining, it takes you a half hour to get out of there.
yeah.
So that part I think we'll have on either side of the town. I mean, that would be where I'd like to put it out there. But I mean, that could be 10 years from now. I mean, it's probably not that long, but that's,
Yeah, but it'll take longer to build something. But you can reconfigure it. There's a lot of separate rooms when you walk down the halls on the south side, and you can have aerobics class. You can have different things. They had a meeting room. It's set up, you can work with it.
Yeah, I was in there and like, it could definitely, you could, there's a option for a basketball court. You can have indoor basketball courts. And, I mean, there's just a tremendous amount of ability to work with something in there. So, like I said, as present, this appears to be the only option for a community center within the town. So,
Yeah, can we make a point to do a study session and we could all go out there and look at it all?
absolutely. So, yeah, I would like to consider Suncrest Church discussion to look into this.
Sure.
Community center.
Yeah. I just wanted to present the opportunity tonight, and we can, certainly dive into this. And if there any board member would like to tour the facility that hasn't had that opportunity yet, we can set that up. And then, like I said, at some point, it might be a good idea to get the more council involvement with a study session. Probably talk to the town's financial advisors as well, to talk about a funding mechanism for something like this. But I think we're in a spot now where we need to, given the substantial growth in town, any opportunity we might have, we have to pursue, because the demand, I mean, I get calls and emails almost daily, from residents that want to see amenity, something like this happen. And I know we're all relatively new, but it's kind of surprising that we don't already have something like this in place, given the, 20,000 residents and growing, and the only indoor space we have is this room and then the corner of a garage, for town. Like, I don't.
Well, I agree with you.
Like, just from the 5-year plan, my recollection was it projected in the next decade a 36% growth within the town at the rate they were moving forward. So, yeah, the town is growing, there's no doubt about that. So, yeah, I'd like to have a consideration for Suncrest Church discussion to move forward with that.
I'll second motion for Suncrest Church discussion.
That was a motion by Mike Bovat and a second by John Boersma. All in favor?
I'll make that motion.
I'm sorry.
I
can't
made
make
it.
Sorry.
I made the motion.
John Boersma made the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Mike Moffett second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
All right, thank you for that, Tyler. Moving to item
Mr.
6.
President, you can't make the motion.
Wait,
I didn't.
Oh, you changed it then?
We
Okay,
changed
all
it.
right.
Boards made, I seconded it.
I apologize.
Thank you very much for paying attention.
Yeah, okay.
Number 6, old business. A, Gates Skate Park.
So I have an updated target construction schedule in your packet. I kind of mentioned last month that this could be coming, but we received word last Friday that Spawn Ranch is going to push this project back to spring of 2022, where we will receive first priority. So that target groundbreaking then would be mid to late March, weather dependent. They are going to do the electrical conduit work this fall. If you mentioned, we would like to have lighting there at some point. So all that's included in our contract is the conduit work for future lighting. So that is something they do plan to get done this fall. But the rest of it, you would see, they wouldn't start till next spring.
Was that their original agreement or?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that? I think we're all pretty much aware of, appreciate that.
I think that's gonna work out better with winter, trying to beat winter,
Yeah.
because they're gonna be trying to pour concrete in November.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing something this big, let's not push it and.
The
Right.
aesthetics of everything,
Right.
hopefully it lasts longer.
For sure. B, Founders Park, Tyler?
So the updated target construction schedule for Founders is in your packet as well. They're just about finished with the boardwalk out there. There's been a lot of activity with that section of the project. And they're also continuing to work on grading, and the site concrete and the playground installation is should be complete within the next few weeks. So there's been more activity recently. Next month, they would then do the poured-in-place surface, the shelter construction, and then the asphalt paving. Want to thank our Public Works Department as they were excavating out an area there towards the front. They encountered some foundation from the house that was there. The contractor did, so our Public Works went in and helped remove what was remaining of that foundation, but that was unexpected, so it was helpful to get them out there to do that.
So they think they can get it done in this time frame? They're pretty confident, or?
So right now, the substantial completion date is November 24th.
Did they say, like, there could be obstacles or delays possibly? Or are they thinking, or are they pretty certain they can wrap this up, do you think?
I mean, the notice to proceed was issued about 5 months ago. I can't, I mean, it's had delays, so, again, there's been more movement though in the last couple weeks than we've had since it began, so I'm hopeful that, it continues.
Okay. Well, thank you. I know you've been keen on digging into that a little bit, Tyler. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Number 7, reports and correspondence. Staff, A. B, board members, town liaison.
I'd just like to say thank you to our new employee, Russ, for being a hard worker and energetic. He volunteered his time for a movie in the park, which is great. Movie in the park was a success. Had a DJ out there. That was last minute. The guy canceled. So both him and Gabe do a good job, and they represent the town well.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and we can say, I think as a board, we're very pleased to have more help, so thank you for that. Yes, we're glad.
Yeah, when Russ started, he had clipboard and what's that for? He says, we got to fix this, we want to do this, we want to do that. I'm like, wow, you don't get that from workers now.
Yeah,
Do we
At-
give
at
them a
least
signing
new
bonus
workers.
to get hired on, like everyone's doing?
Every day, everything's good.
good to have you aboard.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
I had something. Go ahead. I know Gabe's been working on the lights, getting fixed at Heartland and Babe Ruth, not Babe Ruth, but the
Civic,
softball. The Civic, where are we at on the status of that one?
Go ahead.
So we actually got the bulbs. We came into a small dilemma. I'm about 2 feet short from reaching, so it's my height stature. I can't help it. I talked to Bobby from Public Works. He has a guy who's a little bit taller, like 6'4", 6'5". He might be able to reach some of them. If not, then we're gonna have to rely on the fire department again to get us up there. And that was with the bucket all the way extended out. All the way. So once his guy gets some free time, we'll get him changed out. But we did get the bulbs. We did check everything out. And once he's able to have his guy freed up, we'll get those bulbs changed out if he can reach. If not, then we'll have to go up there with the fire truck ladder.
All right.
Hopefully.
I just wanted to make it known, we all know that they are playing out there
Yes.
and there's a lot of lights out.
Yes, I know.
One tower only has one light on.
So the problem we had was last fall, or when we had the basketball courts installed, we have a lot more traffic there now. Apparently, there's a lot of kids who grew up playing baseball, playing basketball there now because they know how to get into everything, whether it's cutting the locks and putting those like field lights on. But now they're on all night, or they were on all night, and that's why some of the bulbs started burning out. But now that we have that issue under control, we just got to change the bulbs.
Perfect. Thank you.
any other comments? Is that it, Wayne?
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Item 8, payment of the bills. Payment of the bills in the amount of $40,565.99. Consider payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills for 40,500, is that 65?
Yeah.
99?
I'll second that.
It's a motion by Pat Connolly, second by John Boersma. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 9, public comment. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. I'm here tonight. My name is Tom Adamek. I live in Gates of St. John, 9401 Chestnut Cove.
Okay.
I'm here tonight to speak about pickleball.
Pickleball?
Pickleball.
Okay.
I'm a pickleball player. I play 5 days a week. I currently play at Cheevers Park in Griffith. I play in Crown Point, and I've played at the new Pickle Time in Crown Point. This area, with all the growth and all the people moving here, we do not have a pickleball site anywhere in St. John. Crown Point is putting in numerous courts all over. Dyer, I believe, is putting in courts. Cherville's putting in courts. St. John doesn't have any. I play at Cheevers Park, where we roughly have 16 to 20 people every morning from like 9 to 12 o'clock. There is a app, it's called Team Reach, and you can pick up any place where people are playing. I'm going to be playing in a league at Pickle Time on Wednesdays nights starting October 6th. It's the #1 game being played amongst seniors, middle age. They're teaching it in schools now, and I'm playing after having a double knee replacement. It has lowered my blood sugar from 7.3 in February to 6.7 in June. The exercise is phenomenal. It's mostly tennis players, racquetball players, ping pong players, and anybody that's athletic. It's such a great game that you can play with your grandsons, your grandchildren, your wife, your children. I've seen people where I play now, they're 77 years old. I've heard of people playing in their 90s in Florida. If you go to Florida, there's over 400 pickleball courts in Florida. It's the #1 game being played. It's people are always asking on Facebook, is there any pickleball courts? Where can we play in St. John? We don't have any. I'm asking the park board if we can consider it. I heard that it was in the 5-year plan, but 5 years, we're going to be 10 years behind. Carmel, Indiana is ranked the #1 place, and the reason they're getting ranked because of the area is because of pickleball courts. It's really in demand, and it's only exploding because until 3 years ago when I started playing, people were like, what's pickleball? And you have to tell them what pickleball is. Now people text me and email me, hey, the tournaments are on ESPN or CBS Sports. There's huge tournaments that are played in Naples, Florida. We have tournaments for fundraisers at Cheevers to help. They just added 2 more pickleball courts. They striped them, so we have 4 pickleball courts with 2 temporary courts that have temporary nets. And the other thing is pickleball courts are smaller than a tennis court. Some towns are putting pickleball courts on top of tennis courts. The nets for a tennis court is higher than a pickleball court. So I would hope you would consider that I ask that we can get a pickleball courts sooner than later. And if we can do it, the one thing that I do really request, and every pickleball player will tell you, please make them north and south, not east and west. And the reason being, Munster put them in, they are east and west. Well, you'll get nobody playing because in the morning the sun is blaring, you can't see the ball. In the evening, the sunset, you can't see the ball. If you put them north and south, and I would say the best courts around here and who did it correct and did it the right way is Griffith. It's called Cheevers Park. It's on Elm and Elmer Street in Griffith. If you'd like to come out any morning, we play 5 days a week. They play on the weekends, but usually during the week, and then they play at nights too. I really appreciate it, and thank you. Any questions I'd like to add?
I appreciate your comment, and
Yeah.
I know we have looked, I mean, that was on the agenda, and for the 5-year plan, and I know it's something that we've talked about, just haven't got to it yet.
Yeah.
But I think we would hope to have a pickleball court. There's a lot of things we don't have presently that we're working on.
Yeah, Griffith has, they have 6 now, 4 permanent and 2 temporary. Crown Point just added Collins Park, they added courts. Bridgeport Park, they have 2 courts. They made theirs too small, they had to move the fences back, and then the side fences were too close, so now they took the side fences out. But most of the places, if you put, because you play 4 at a time, and they rotate in and rotate out. So it's all I can say is it's a great game. Once you play it, you get hooked. And I thank you.
All right. Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, I appreciate you being here. Just to let you know, I've had several conversations with residents who have, advocated for this, for pickleball courts. And I asked them, okay, what's a facility we can model ours after? And they've all mentioned Cheever.
Cheevers Park did it. I mean, I don't know who did it, but I know they had a tournament, and it was a round robin tournament. It was a $25 fee. And they had 30-some people playing, and took that money to defer the cost of the striping of the new pickleball courts. So people that are paying to play to keep the courts nice. Now there was supposed to be a tournament that was canceled, but there's going to be another tournament because they have a crack in the one court over there. And Permaseal, I guess, is who does all their work. I don't know, but they do it. And if you get time, take a run over there and see it. I mean, there's people playing at night. Weather permitting, people are out there all the time.
I'm just looking now. Their courts ain't that big. They're 44 foot by 20. Does that sound correct?
I'm not sure.
I think on the outside, when we counted the fence post, Tyler and I went out to Cheevers Park, and it's a nice setup. I thought was that like 70 feet long and 60 feet wide, if the fence posts were spaced 10 feet apart. So,
Yeah,
but that's giving you room behind the court. It's maybe what you're looking at, Johnny, is just
The actual playing surface.
the playing surface.
is what
Yeah.
I-
Well,
yeah.
maybe to play, but it is shorter than a tennis court, and the net is, I believe it's 3 inches lower than a tennis net.
I'm going to be one of them people that never really heard of it too much. But what is the ball? What is it?
The ball looks like a wiffle ball.
Okay.
It's there's different brands. There's Onyx. There's different brands that they have. But if you look at it, it looks just like a wiffle ball. But I believe it's made a little bit different, with different holes.
Okay.
And the paddles are a little bit bigger than. They're smaller than a tennis racket, but they're like a racquetball paddle. And you can play wood, but most people play with graphite. It's like anything else. You start out with ping pong, you buy 2 paddles for $5, and then all of a sudden you're buying paddles for $100.
Yeah. For sure.
The more you get into it, it's like any sport. But once you put the courts in, there's really no cost to the town because everybody plays. They bring their own equipment, and it's just a great game.
Well, appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
So the previous town I worked for, one of the residents there was an official Indiana ambassador of pickleball, which I didn't know such a thing existed at that time. But this was back in 2011, and he requested for us to stripe a few courts on our gym that we had there at the community center in town. And we thought, okay, we'll do this for him, and thinking that nothing will really come of it, but we had a regular crowd of 20 to 30 people in there every morning. From about 9 to 12 was the pickleball time, and there was a little reluctance back then to do we construct something permanent? Is this just a fad? Is it going to fade away? But you see the growth of this sport in the last 10 to 12 years, and it's not going away. And it's been a sport that started out, at least from what I've seen, more something that appealed to maybe the older senior type crowd, but even younger, the younger crowd is playing it now. So We have discussed it before, at the board level. It's on our short list of projects to,
Because on rainy days, yesterday I played at Match Point. Match Point is in Griffith too. It's a tennis club, and they have it set up and taped off for pickleball. A lot of people play at Lincoln Center in Highland. They have it. And the other new place is the Y in Crown Point. There's a lot of people play at 5:30 in the morning there. And, but there you have to have a membership to play. But it's only growing leaps and bounds because the people that didn't know about it are playing it. I brought my neighbor's 2 kids, they're tennis players. They went, he said it's the best workout he ever had. The cardio that you get moving back and forth. And trust me, if you guys come out and play, you'll get hooked.
Sounds like it.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
you.
Any other public comments? No? Consider adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
It's a motion by Mike Moffett, second by Pat Connolly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.